go very, very beginning where all this started, where those art, culture, dance, drum, where it started. So some of the things that we are talking here, if you have not do your research and you never heard about those things, you're going to be a little bit confused. But this is our history. This is who we are. This is where it started. So we are here to go back down, 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 deep to the root before coming to the fruit. So just relax and let's enjoy ourselves. As our guest was saying, the Institute of Art and Culture, as today we all know it as Art Center, Art Center. It was there for the first beginning, even before the Africa Institute began. And what they are doing there, it is amazing. But my question was that, is the Institute of Art and Culture, was it formed by our first president? Uncle Sige, maybe you can answer this question. Was the Institute of Art and Culture formed by our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, as well also?
Yes. Right before, during the colonial time, before independence, there used to be a British Art Council. At independence, they moved out. They packed their things and they left. So Nkrumah initiated the Institute of Art and Culture and hosted at the Art Center. Now, but the mandate of the Institute of Art and Culture, part of it has been given to the Institute of African Studies. It took,
We are listening.
there were no formal classes at the Art Center to train drummers, dancers during that time. It's all the Art Center, the Institute of Art and Culture basically host amateur groups, give them a space to practice on their own. Nobody from the Institute of Art and Culture come to teach them anything. They function on their own.
Like they do whatever they want to do or something like that, or what?
No, they basically do what they want to do. The whole research group is doing a Ck Ladzekpo. Accra Drama Troupe, they do mostly Ghana dances, drumming and dancing. The Good Samaritan Cultural Troupe also do. As a matter of fact, Edibo, I remember him being.
Yeah, I don't know why he just left. I've tried to reach him, but he's not answering.
He did not come back.
He's not come
He's
back.
not online.
It's not online.
Okay, so we can be going.
Yeah, we can be going.
I believe that he was a member of the Good Samaritan Cultural Group, and they were all groups, but new generations come to meet them. The same way that I came to meet the whole research group. I was a kid when they started. My brothers who were in Accra decided to organize themselves as AVs so they can be able to practice their culture. That was, they named it after Beho, who was the musician, composer who composed our national item, the Ghana national item. They named the group after him in his honor. But Beho then was part of the Institute of Art and Culture and became the director of the symphony orchestra, which was one of the first groups formed by the Art Council, or the Institute of. I don't remember when exactly the name was switched from Institute of Art and Culture to the Art Council of Ghana.
Wow.
I don't remember. But eventually, it became the Art Council of Ghana, probably after the British Art Council, the name, the British Art Council, during the colonial time. Those of us who were young people who came to Accra and was very interested in traditional drumming and dancing or traditional culture, we gravitated towards the art center because that is where there is people are practicing. But during that time, it was mostly traditional drumming, dancing. It's not so much stage or professional drummers and dancers. Everybody have their own job that they make a living, but in the evening, they come to the art center. Some people practice some days of the week.
Uncle, there's something that is really escaping my mind. Not escaping, but there's something that I don't really get the picture clear,
Mhm,
because as you are speaking, I'm trying to picture the
mhm.
past and see how it will be. And if it is something that our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, set the Institute of Art and Culture to gather the youth and teach them a thing. My question is that, were there any dance teachers? Is that really organized that a child need to apply before come, or just you can form a group and you can come there and train? I don't really get a picture.
Okay. The Institute of Art and Culture is a government institution. Their mandate from the government
Yep.
is to help in preserving and promoting Ghanaian culture. That was their mandate. Now, the place at the very beginning was poorly staffed. When I say poorly staffed, they don't have enough staff, probably because of the budget that government gave them was not a lot of money. So I remember when I came to Accra, my brother Baglu, he just passed away, was the director or the officer in charge of the Workers' Brigade Cabaret Troop, a group that is part of the Workers' Brigade organization, and they do traditional drumming and dancing, hired dancers, and so forth. Before that, he was at the art center as they call them drumming and dance coach. Now, but they don't coach anybody as far as I know.
Wow.
It was later before, um, okay, let me go back to the, the art center at the function during the time of Institute of Art and Culture. The symphony orchestra was the main thing that they were doing because Beho was the head of the Institute
Symphony.
of Art and Culture. They call them chief
So
promotion officers.
so at that time, Boho is the leader of the Institute of Arts and Culture at Art Center. Oh.
Yes, yes. but they call them chief promotion officers, promotion of culture
mm, mm,
officers, chief promotion officers.
mm,
Then there was Sakakwe,
mm,
who was a great artist.
mm,
Not only that he's a sculptor who can sculpt my face exactly like the way it is very ugly,
mm.
but then he was also a playwright who can write plays and produce them at the art center. The Lost Fisherman, for example, was one of his famous
Dance drama or what?
presentations. The Lost Fisherman, the Lost Fisherman was one of
Mm,
Sakakwe's
mm.
destiny. There was an amateur group that do singing called oh, what is the name? There was an amateur group who do singing. The
Chiroma?
Lost Fishermen, yeah, they were at the art center. They practiced at the art center. So Sakakwe wrote the. It was a folk operetta. It's like an opera, singing, acting, dancing. The Lost Fishermen. It was a great presentation. I love it.
Mm,
So those are part of Sakakwe's presentations. Now, those were the time that I've seen officers of the Art Council doing anything art, apart from the symphony orchestra. Sakakwe drama. I'm trying to remember the name of
mm,
the choir
mm,
that Sakakwe used. During those days, the Art Council was supposed to promote and preserve Ghanaian culture generally. But believe it or not, in my opinion,
mm,
the culture of Ghana, the Art Center, has been reduced to drumming and dancing.
mm.
When the culture of Ghana include a lot more than that.
Wow.
Our religion, the way we make our living, the butchers, the market women, and everything else.
Mm,
But they focus basically on the performing art
mm,
at the Art Center.
mm,
So, to me, the Art Council losing a lot to the Institute of African Studies. If I were Nkrumah's government, I would have done that too.
mm,
Because the people there were not doing anything.
mm, mm,
It's just the amateur groups.
mm. I'm trying. I'm seeing some picture while you are talking. I can see the past, and I'm trying to see what actually came. And the thing that I saw is that I think the beginning of putting dancers on stage, and we have the Institute of Africa, Institute of Art and Culture. That like as you are talking, I said, we don't have dance teachers, we don't have dance drummers teachers. I mean, there's no stage. We don't know about artwork. It's just at the beginning of everything. You understand? At the beginning of everything, whereby Nkrumah is trying to like bring it back of what we have losing. Because I want viewers to understand during that time, which is 1957, the colonial masters has taken all over Ghana, and our culture has been vanished to the land, especially in Accra. Because I can tell that those who are living in the Volta region in the northern part of Ghana, they can still do what you are doing, but within Accra, the British people have taken everything. So you can imagine our culture has been lost. So when we got our independence and our first president tried to bring this thing back to the stage, it's going to be a little bit challenge. It's going to be a little bit
Um,
challenge.
Niama,
Yes, sir.
it was very challenging.
Mm,
But Accra's issue was not so much. Anyway, the British established the capital.
Yeah.
Everybody in Ghana came down to Accra.
Mm.
So the guns have been totally overwhelmed with everybody in Accra. They can't get a job. They can't look. If you cannot make a living, you'll be thinking about how you're going to feed your family. So nobody really actually took away drumming and dancing from the guns or their culture. Their religion was still going on. Play, Otu, the Wulome, everybody was still functioning in Accra. Now, the British colonial policy did not really actually go into the tradition and say, no, you cannot make a living. They try to create a brain drain. They want to take young people away from the culture by setting up the school system and confusing, brainwashing them that they are ashamed to be called Ghanaians.
Wow.
If during that time, if you do traditional drumming and dancing, nobody respects you. You were not respected. But we keep going. Now, much of our emphasis is to try and leave the country, like I did, so I can get some respect. Over here, I am respected as an artist. But over in Ghana, they call us concert B. If they call you concert B, nobody respects you. That was the beginning. But we try to change our perception. Now, I know that putting dances on stage was a new thing then. But there were a lot of great choreographers in amateur groups. Like, say, there were groups like Obajen. Obajen, I think Ishmael Kwe was the leader, the choreographer. Ishmael Kwe was trained by Berry Karikari, a great choreographer and a dancer who was she's a Ghanaian. She was a Ghanaian born and raised in England. So she did ballet, modern dance, and so forth. When she came to Ghana and she saw the whole transition, because we were all thinking that after independence, Ghana would just go back to tradition. But it was not that. It was not what was happening. At the Art Center, they have a full-blown symphony orchestra. I mean, with people learning to play violin, chola, I mean, everything, but nothing traditional. So the only traditional things happening was what the amateur groups, people who voluntarily come down to the Art Center. It was not a government-sponsored group.
Program.
There was one officer called drum and dance coach who doesn't coach anybody as far as I know. So that was the beginning. We were all empowered by the whole go back to tradition message campaign by Nkrumah, the African personality thing. But even, believe me, when you go down to the Art Center and you don't speak properly to whoever is down there, they are going to kick you out.
Wow.
They were supposed to support us, so we will demand support. They don't want to give you the support. Now, but I remember Berry Karikari's work. I will continue to mention her name. She was married to Cameroon Dodo. a legendary Ghanaian journalist. I think he's still in Europe right now.
Mm.
I believe so. Barry Karikari saw that all what was happening immediately after independence was the European culture being promoted at the art center, but not the African. No drumming, no dancing. So
Wow.
she started up her group, and she would create dances. Some of them she called Watusi. Remember, she was born and raised in England. So
Mm.
she has a broader view of Africa from
Mm.
outside.
Mm. Yeah.
Watusi, Udum, Pa, Pudum, Pudum, Pa. I mean, if you ask George, George will do it for you. George knows the dance very
Mm.
well.
Mm. So,
Or crew dance.
uncle, all that you are saying that from the beginning of certain like our culture groups on stage from the infants, it was a problem because after the independence, I mean, no government or no people were really into it to promote it to start it very strong. So people were just doing by themselves. Then they call them amateur culture
Yeah.
groups.
Yes. We were doing it by ourselves. People were doing it by themselves because that was what was happening before independence.
So I don't understand then why we name Institute of Art and Culture. I mean, I don't understand.
Ghana, we are used to just giving name to things and they
That's the
don't
problem. It's a
perform.
problem because when you say the Institute of Art and Culture, and yet the Symphony Orchestra Bowl is doing rather the art and culture without not seeing the art and culture. I mean,
I'm telling you, there was a puppetry department.
Mhm.
There is drumming and dancing department and the whole administration,
Mm.
distant staff, and so forth. But there was no budget
Give it to them.
until I think Bonte was talking about out of parliament. I researched that.
Mm. Share with us.
What parliament did to create Ghana Dance Ensemble was look at what was going on. The School of Music, Dance, and Drama is functioning well at Legon. At the Art Center, there was nothing happening.
Mm.
So they have given the Institute of African Studies the responsibility to form the Ghana Dance Ensemble because they are doing something. If there was something happening at the Art Center by the Institute of Art and Culture, that will not happen. So if you take a look at Ghana Dance Ensemble resume, they will say a highly successful collaboration between the government
Government.
Institute of Art and Culture
Mm-hmm.
and the Institute of African Studies, University
Mm.
of Ghana.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm. Mm.
that was what happened. If there was something happening at the Art Center,
Mm.
the Parliament will not have given that mandate to the Institute of African
African studies.
Studies. There was something
Mm.
logical happening down there. They saw a
Let's see.
future, a hope. Their council, the only thing they did was the symphony orchestra by Philip Bahu.
Banco, don't you think that's unfair? Because if the people who have the conversation with the government to form the Ghana State Assembly, whereby we have the Institute of Art and Culture, why don't we build it from there?
Do you know what? That was a damn good question we should ask the people who were hired during that time. Why they were not doing anything.
Because that was the
They were
downfall
doing.
of what we are suffering now.
Mhm.
Because I think
Yeah, I mean,
if
when I
they
came
are,
down to Accra
yeah.
from from Qatar, I saw my brothers doing the Beho Research Group thing. My elder brother, Kobla Ladzekpo, he's still in the US right now. He's about 90 years old. They were really very active then. So he was at Legon, Institute of African Studies. My brother Kogro was at the Art Center. Later on, went to Workers' Brigade to form the Workers' Brigade Cabaret Troupe. There were several government organizations that have started their own drumming and dancing group, like the Workers' Brigade. They have even they have bands, and the bands are really pretty good because the leaders were really good. The cabaret, Workers' Brigade Cabaret, and there were some other government districts. We will come to talk later about the evolution of the Art Council Folkloric Dance Company. You will talk about it. It's a much everything. Okay, what government is spending money on is what government is saying. If government is spending money on the symphony orchestra, but not on our traditional drumming and dancing, that is what government is saying is important. And that's what the kids are going to be looking up towards too.
It's true.
There is nothing wrong with the symphony orchestra, but there must be a balance. So, Legon started a school of music, dance, and drama then, which is now School of Performing Art, and training people formally to dance on stage. Now, this is the problem we have. Everybody in Ghana, I'm talking now as an Ewe, I'm an Ewe. Everybody can dance in Eveland. They can just get down into the circle and do whatever. So there is a mixture of good dancers and very terrible dancers. A mixture. But in classroom, we take the skills of the perfect practitioner and go and mass produce that. So on stage, we have a lot of good dancers. Now, as an Ewe, again, tradition, the community want to see perfect practitioners. They hope for it. That one day, maybe everybody can be the best dancer. But they don't see that. When Ghana Dance Ensemble learned Achagbeko well, they decided to take it back to Anyako, my hometown, where the teachers come from. The teachers came from. That day, for the first time, the community saw a group of perfect dancers. They were all open mouth. Wow. Then immediately, the leadership of Ghana Dance Ensemble saw the opportunity. This can be our mission, that we can go and mass produce perfect practitioners to influence the kids of tomorrow. So the traditional people can maybe one day see perfect practitioners among themselves. So Ghana Dance Ensemble decided to expand its program, which we will talk about in later this thing. For right now, we are still at the beginning.
We are building. That's what I'm saying, that everything we are saying here is the beginning of how everything started. And Uncle, into a certain point, I begin to understand how they put the dancers into Legon to really train them to become professors, to know how to use the stage, to bring the beauty out of the dance and everything. Because we are talking about stagecraft. It's not just group of people dancing like hey in the village and everything. This is now selling a production, right? But
Yes.
My question is that bringing those dancers to Legon, there are a lot of young people at the art center who are willing to dance as well. So my question is that why don't the people that they choose to begin the Ghana Dance Ensemble, why don't they make them as a student to get a degree, the qualification to become the masters of the nations, so that they can go around Ghana and train people, rather to form a group? That's something that I don't really understand.
The mandate of the Institute of African Studies and the way that they were implementing the mandate was simple. First is education. There were the first original members of Ghana Dance Ensemble were all students of doing diploma program in dance in the School of Music, Dance, and Drama. Those first generation, some of them dropped out of school to become professional dancers. That's the way it was. And the ensemble's budget was not so large that they can just pick just every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They have to pick the best. And that's the way it was. Now, if that first generation did not drop and become professional dancers and they have completed their diploma, the idea is for them to be assigned to the public schools to train Ghanaians to become Ghanaians. Not just because they will have been doing dances from everywhere. The first bunch of people who were brought from the villages and housed them together, they come from different tribes. Those tribes, traditionally, some of them don't even like one another. They have stereotypes for one another. But when they started learning dances from each other, all of a sudden, oh, these people, they have something here, upstairs. They started respecting one another. They became Ghanaians immediately. I came from that school. I learned from some of the best Ashanti, Gan, Dagomba, Dagbani. I learned. I am a Ghanaian. That was what made me a Ghanaian. It's not just being an Ewe. You must go beyond being an Ewe to be a Ghanaian. So, if you call yourself a Ghanaian, this is a challenge to all Ghanaians. Do you respect every Ghanaian? That they are that you are not superior to them. You are all the same people with love. That's what I am. I am proud to be an Nkrumah Ghanaian. I love all Ghanaians. I love Ghanaian culture. It must go beyond your immediate tribe. Just like the people who were packed in a university classroom from different tribes to teach each other. That is what we do. And at the art center also, it's the same thing that we do. We go to do research. We don't even have the money. But during our days, Ghana was Ghana. You can travel with no money. People will feed you. Wherever we go, they feed us. We travel to learn. There are good examples still alive. George Ikunu, he's still in Ghana right now. My brother George. That's the way I call him. He called me Brother CK because we became brothers. We traveled and learned from different people. We went even as far as to Ivory Coast. You know that song, Asido, Aina o, Asido Ina o, Aina o, oh, Asido, Aina o. Asido, you know, we brought it from Ivory Coast.
Wow, wow, wow. Uncle, repeat that song again and sing again for records on Anchor TV.
Oh, yeah. We brought that song from Ivory Coast. Asido, Ayinao, Asido, Ayinao, Asido, Ayinao,
Oh.
Asido, Ayinao.
Mhm.
Mustafa, I hope you are watching. Mustafa was there. George Ikunu was there. I can call you the name of all the people from Ajido Dance Company, not Ajido Pan African in England. No, the original Ajido, which George was a member. Mustafa was a member. We brought that song from a research. So going to learn from other people was our thing. The little money we have, we will travel. You know, one of the things I miss when I come back home is that I go walking in the farm and I see a mango.
Wow.
In the olden days, I can just sit down and eat the mango. It is only when I'm trying to pack it and take it away, then there is a problem. Tradition allow you to eat the mango or the orange or the fruit, the banana. You just sit down there and feed yourself, but don't take it away. But all that is gone today. I would have been shot with an arrow if I go
Yeah.
to
Uncle,
somebody's
you
farm
know
and pick a
something?
mango.
I really love history, and what I'm doing with you. I mean, I don't know how my viewers are feeling, but for me, I'm seeing the pictures. You know, when you are talking, I'm to you, what you are saying deep down to your spirit. So I can imagine the pictures, and I see the mistakes that were done in the past, because I see no fast stretches to our cultural group dance the way they laid the foundation. Because